Another type of qualitative study is a grounded theory study, which finds its roots in sociology. You've noticed probably, if you've watched the other qualitative videos, that all of these have their roots outside of nursing. We've looked at anthropology, we've looked at psychology and philosophy, and now we're looking at sociology. So let's take a deeper look into grounded theory research. When you think of grounded theory, I want you to think of a couple of things. First of all, decision making and processes. Decision making and processes is what grounded theory studies are about. So, we're looking at how people make decisions that impact their health or their daily lives, and also the processes of thinking through these decision making and changes in their lives. So, basically, you'll see this thing called basic social process or basic social problem. An example I'll probably use during this presentation is maybe a family who is making the decision whether to adopt or not, or to be a foster parent or not. There's a major decision that has to happen to decide to do that. And there's processes that everyone goes through. And while each story is unique, the purpose of this type of research is to figure out what is the same among all of those families who've decided to welcome foster children into their homes. And by knowing that, we can create a theory that helps describe that for us, and we can use that further as nurses. So that's the second thing I want you to think about. First, decision making and processes. Second, we're making a new theory when we do grounded theory research. We're going to create a new middle range theory that can help us describe parts of the human process that we interact with as nurses. So you'll see that here on this slide. For the most part, we collect data through grounded theory, just like the other methods, using interviews. And this one's going to take more people than some of the others. So you'll see maybe 20 to 30 people. And the reason we need more people in grounded theory research is that we're building a theory. So we have to have plenty of data that's been substantiated and matched among all of these participants so that we can create a very well grounded theory, grounded in the research and the data that we get. That's why it's called a grounded theory. So a couple of things that happen are important words that you'll see when you look at pretty much any grounded theory study is first constant comparison. What that means is, let's say I've talked to parents, parent group number one, and I've asked them why they chose to be foster parents. I may have a 30-page manuscript of typed text from their interview. So then I go to couple number two and I ask them, what was your decision-making process like for why you chose to be a foster parent? And once I have their transcript from their interview, I always go back and I compare it to the group before. So we're comparing groups one and two. Then I move on to family group number three, ask them the same questions. And once I finish that, I go back and constantly compare with the interviews that happened before. Each new interview in time is calculated and compared against the others. And that's important because unlike other types of qualitative research, we're building a theory here. So we have to be building it from start to finish. We don't wait till the end and get all the interviews done. It's done iteratively as we go through the process. And I explained basic social process earlier, but basically that's those common features that everyone in my study shared when they were making a decision, whatever that decision may be. So again, just a reminder, it's typically 20 to 30 people. You may see more, you may see less, but that's a good ballpark estimate. And this is an example. This one's called Parenting Under Pressure. It's a grounded theory study of looking at how parents who have young children with life-threatening congenital heart issues, how they cope with becoming that parent, and the processes and problems that they encounter on a daily basis because of their child's congenital health issues. How people cope, that's a process. So that's a good kind of question to ask if you want to do a grounded theory study. And out of that Parenting Under Pressure study, this is inside that article I just showed you a screenshot of. This is the theory that they came up with. They said that parents who are learning to cope with having a child with a congenital heart issue go through these phases and sometimes go back and forth through these phases as new challenges and new developmental stages occur. And they give quotes from the participants throughout the article to help kind of highlight what they mean. So, reading, realizing, and adjusting to the inconceivable. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of abstract. So they put quotes, direct quotes that people said to help explicate or explain what realizing and adjusting to the inconceivable means. And that paints a picture for you. And if you're a pediatric nurse or someone who's worked with children with congenital heart issues, then you know that that can be very valuable for you and how you interact with not only the child, but their parents and caregivers who are experiencing some point of this process while they're learning to cope with their child's illness and everything that that entails. So these reading these types of studies can be very valuable again for your empathy and your compassion as a nurse at the bedside with patients and loved ones. So that's just a general overview of the very brief explanation of grounded theory. Again, we could go into this for hours. We're not. This is good enough. But hopefully, now that you have read or watched this, if you read a grounded theory study, it'll make more sense. Thanks for watching.